ズバリ賞。
流星バッジがもらえるんだ。フラッシュビーム型ボールペンもあるよ。
シスコウルトラマンチョコレート新発売。
ゴジラ対キングギドラ。足型シール20枚で怪獣大図鑑がもらえるキングザウルスシリーズポピーより発売中。
こっちこっち。ゴジラ今日の待って
やっぱりゴジラも京都が大好き。
I love 京都、京都銀行。
Why, hello and welcome to episode 51 of Collect All Monsters. And we did not get the crazy today on Collect All Monsters video intro there because I'm a little sick today and I am just kind of going to be hanging out. Oh, well, it's okay. It's okay. I'm a little sick. Yesterday was way worse. So yeah, I'm on the upswing, my friends.
You're on the mend.
Upswing. I'm on the mend. I'm ready to talk about kaiju and giant monster collectibles. We are also down a member. John Ruffin is not with us. He is celebrating someone else's birthday who doesn't matter at all to the show, apparently.
Oh, damn.
Like he ditched us.
I mean, we got the core crew here now, I'm going to say, with crossed arms. But welcome to the show. We have 27 people hanging out watching live right now on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for being here. We will go do our chat room check-in in a little while. But for now, we're going to go ahead and kick off. Oh, well, let me tell you what the show is all about today. We have a show today called You've Been Added to the Group Chat, which is a way for us to get our viewers involved with future episode ideas. So later on during our main segment, we will be having a brainstorming session where we talk about cool ideas for future episodes, future shows, and future supplementals. And, we'll throw in other cool stuff in there too, like, stuff we could do in the group. And we want to hear from you guys live when that happens, what you think of that stuff. We are going to kick right into it, though, because what we do every time when we start this show is we kick off everything with our Showa Tell, which has a video intro right here. And I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Leslie Chambers. What have you gotten since we've seen you last, buddy?
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
And I don't know why you dress like Trayvon Martin down there.
I'm the silent creeper in the group chat. That's usually my role. I silently creep.
Like, did you come across Shimo before you jumped on this broadcast? Like, I'm just asking. Which is weird because she says she's freezing. David said he's burning. I'm burning. I don't know what's going on with Kyle. It's like the world is going through a lot right now with earthquakes and solar eclipses and but you know what?
Man.
With all this craziness going on, you can count on Collect All Monsters to keep you grounded. And thank you for everybody here for being here because I'm sure a lot of y'all probably thought we weren't going to do a show this weekend because we haven't had time to promote it because we've all been busy doing everyday life stuff. But you know what? Consider what I see in the chat right now, 35 people. You came through for us, so we really do appreciate you coming through for us, and we're going to give you a great show. As a matter of fact, y'all going to be involved because, again, we're going to want your feedback. But before I showcase what I got, 3 awesome things. Again, as Godzilla fans, we have nothing to complain about right now. As a matter of fact, let me take a sip of my drink right fast.
Oh my! Oh, you got one! Oh, jealous.
Woo.
Mine didn't have any.
You know what?
Sorry.
This is what victory tastes like. This is what success tastes like. This is what defying the odds tastes like. Because so many people wanted this film to fail. So many people thought it was going to fail. So many people thought it was going to be an abomination coming off the amazing heels of -1. But here we are, living in an age where we got not 1, but 2 successful, highly successful Godzilla films that will lead to more future Godzilla media in the future. Again, I had fun with -1. I had boatloads of fun with Godzilla X Kong the New Empire. Or should I say, Kong the New Empire featuring Godzilla. Don't hate me, Key, don't tell the truth. But yeah. But again, this film was loads and loads of fun. I'm sure y'all had fun watching it. At least some of y'all did. But let me give a huge shout out to the Monster with Attitude crew. Come next weekend, I think around this time, I think I'm going to invade their show. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, mostly good, involving Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. So we hope to see you there. And I promise you, I will uphold the integrity and be on my best behavior as I represent Collect All Monsters. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're not good behavior here.
I didn't mean to do that. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. Let's see. Got a few special things here. 3 awesome things. So let me start off. And they're kind of like big, gigantic things in a way. Bigger scale. So let me start off with this guy right here. You know what? You've probably seen this guy on the channel before. And in fact, I know you have. But I got to show it anyway. I got my hands on the Spiral Studios Legacy Series GMK Godzilla.
That's awesome.
He looks so good.
Now,
that's great.
I need one.
Again, you've already seen one months ago. Cassandra got hers, you know. And you know what? At first, I wasn't going to get one because I was so in awe by Sandra's. I was like, you know what? I don't really need one. I can just admonish and admire hers in the house. Until one day, she had it on her computer desk and she was doing some work on the computer. And I walked up to her and I said, babe, you know, since you already got this, and technically since we're married, doesn't that mean that we kind of share this? And I went to grab the statue, and I wish I could tell you what happened after that because I don't remember. What I do remember is I woke up 8 hours later on the floor drooling with a note attached to my head that said, "What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine." So that made me want to...
That's right, Sandra.
I had to get one for myself. Yeah, Sandra is very, very territorial when it comes to her stuff, especially GMK, right? Right, Kyle? Like, when it comes to GMK, don't mess with Sandra Chambers. I'm just saying. But yeah, I had to get this. Really, 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 really cool. And I had it on the table downstairs, and every now and then Sandra walked by it. She was like, "Is yours darker than mine?" I'm like, No, it's not darker than yours.
Uh-oh.
It's just the same. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, that's the first thing I want to showcase. Again, the Spiral Studios Legacy Series GMK Godzilla that won our Cammy last month in our show.
That's a beautiful figure. I still
gotta get one.
I'm on the fence about getting one of those. I don't have any room, but I love it. It's so cool.
Same. It's still available to purchase, right?
It is. I think maybe AJ Russo may have a couple.
Have to.
But again, when it comes to these statues involved with Spiral Studios, once they're gone, they're gone. So I think they did produce a kit for it, but I don't think you want to go to the hassle of buying the kit and you have to hire somebody to build and paint it for you. I'm sure David can do it, Christine, if you want one. But if you want a fully intact figure, I suggest contact AJ Russo. But it's really, really worth the investment. The first ever gigantic size suit accurate dad bod GMK.
Good.
It looks so good, Leslie.
Looks dang good. Spiral always does good stuff.
It's great. Now, this next figure, Christine, I know you're gonna love because you're a huge Heisei fan.
I'm ready.
And this thing is, again, I'm calling it right now, figure of the freaking year from
Already?
S Plus. For S Plus.
Okay.
Now, I know the -1 is coming. I know the Saba 84 is coming. I know that Baragon is coming.
Oh, that's right.
But I'm sorry, this one, in my opinion, gets the absolute cake when it comes to overall figure of the year. We already peaked as far as S Plus. And I'm talking about the X Plus. Favorite Sculptors
Is
line. 1995.
Oh,
Godzilla.
right.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's a beauty.
Yeah. Is it translucent?
Well, in a way it is.
Kind of.
But
Dang, that looks good.
look
That
at
looks
that.
really good. That looks great.
You can't have
Again-
enough 95s, man.
I know, right? And of course, he's be coming up for discussion later on in this episode. But this is from the Favorite Sculptors line. It's from the Black Dragon Studios. The same people that did the awesome Destroyer that I showcased
Oh my god.
last
sick.
year. As a matter of fact, Kyle has a couple of photos that I want y'all to see how this thing looks up against the Destroyer. He looks absolutely phenomenal. And look at
Oh
that.
my god.
Wow.
Wait, it lights up? Or
And
did
it
you-
lights up.
No
That's
way.
pretty
Okay,
good.
that is nice. That's a nice.
If any Godzilla
God.
figure was to light up, the burning Godzilla is the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, heck yeah.
And it took him
Exactly.
10 years.
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
took them 10 years. The first ever S Plus Burning Godzilla was the gigantic, and it came out in 2014. It took them 10 years, but they finally
Wow.
got the light up right. Look at that. Look at that light up.
God, that looks good.
Oh, and it's perfect with
That looks pretty
Destroyer.
awesome against the Destroyer, dude.
I
gotta
would
say.
love to
know.
photograph. I would love to photograph that.
I need a bigger room. Dang it. I don't have room for all these big ones.
I need a bigger
Oh, and I
house.
want them. I know.
Again, Christine, you're the Heisei expert on this show. What do you think about this 95? Honestly.
Gosh, no. The light up on that, perfect. Like, that should have been done long time ago. Holy cow. And I love the open mouth, like the roaring mouth. That looks really, really, really good on this one. He looks
Yeah.
very good. Oh,
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Burning Godzilla, man. It's just so... Oh,
It's
his
not-
eyes light up too?
His
Ooh.
eyes light up, his fins
Sick.
light up, the whole package just lights up. And again, it creates that glow that we did see in the film. Again, this is
Wow.
the absolute best light up when it comes to a 95 Godzilla that I have ever seen, which is why, once again, I'm thinking this is the overall best figure of the year as far as X Plus. Again, I know -1 is coming and the Saba 84 is coming, but they're gonna have a hard time filling the shoes of this one right here, in my opinion. So again, thank you, Kyle, for showing that. Really do appreciate it. And
You want to show
finally,
that second photo too?
yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Leslie, it's so
Yeah, I
great.
like it.
You know why
Ooh.
it's great?
Oh,
Because
oh,
the
Junior.
mouth is open, but it's not open too wide. It's the perfect amount.
Mhm.
Like it's like I've seen some 95s where the mouth is like really open. This one, they hit the sweet spot. And X Plus, man, I have a feeling they're gonna make all of our dreams come true at some point in this
Yeah.
collecting journey, because everything is coming out. Like, we all wish for things, and it eventually shows up if we just be patient, you know?
Rose Violante, I'm still waiting.
It's coming. It's coming.
See?
I guarantee you.
Come on, don't let me down, man.
It's coming. So
It's coming.
again, when you think about Favorite Sculptors line, like, they've been killing it with the Heisei. You know, you got the aggregate form of
Yeah.
Destroyer, the perfect form of Destroyer, this 95, of course, the Saba 84 should be dropping this month, if I'm not mistaken.
Seriously, yes.
Yeah, so the
Oh, I totally
Heisei
got
has
that.
been killing it. Heisei has been killing it. And again, don't get Destroyer off your minds. Don't get Godzilla's Destroyer off your minds, because we will be talking about that when it comes to our brainstorming session later on. And finally, I want to give a shout out and thank you to my personal Picasso, besides David Dopko, because I love him. He will always be in my favor. But to the other Picasso in my life right now, Marcellus Winters, and he hooked me up with a custom creation. And it's a
Oh.
character that, David, I know for a fact you will love. As a matter of fact, I think, Kyle, you will love it as well, because it comes from a movie that's not talked about that much, but coincidentally, it's going to be celebrating the anniversary next year, and we'll be talking about that character in that film as well. It took a couple months to get this to me. As a matter of fact, this is not really a purchase. This was something that he gifted to me, because
Oh, that's nice.
I have been instrumental in helping him getting new business for his artistry and building model kits or whatever.
He's an
And
awesome
so-
guy.
He's a great
Yeah.
guy. He's a great guy. Even though
And he's in the chat.
Yeah, he's in the chat. Even though
Marcellus!
even though he carries a switchblade every now and then. That's beside the point. But he asked me this in a random question, he was like, if you could create anything in a gigantic scale, what monster would you create it? Or would you create? And I was like, I want so and so. And then here it is, like a couple months later, he showed me what he was cooking up. And again, this is a flat out gift as a thank you from him to me. And I'm going to give the thank you right back. You have done a wonderful job. In my opinion, you've done some great stuff for me with the Gigantic 84, the King Ghidorah 72, the KOC 54, and the Rodan from Final Wars. But I have to say, this probably is your best work. And I give to you a custom gigantic size. He's no longer a boy. Toho Frankenstein!
Oh my god!
Okay,
Whoa.
Marcellus. Wow.
Marcellus!
I think he is
that?
Frankenstein, man. That's a creation. He created that thing. That's awesome. Wow.
That's crazy.
Dude.
That is insane.
Is that real hair on his chest?
Yes!
Looks like me in the morning.
It's real hair. He got it from Prince. He got it from Prince. You know, Prince had that chest hair that had that look of taco meat, burnt taco meat. He got it from Prince, and he put it right here on his arm, on his chest,
god!
Oh man,
on his back.
I just can't. Nope.
What?
I can't.
That's insane, Marcellus. Holy cow, man!
So, if you want a custom character that maybe one of these companies will not touch, Marcellus is your guy. He's your guy again.
Wow, the paint job. Let's talk about the paint job too.
Yeah.
Paint job is pretty freaking awesome. I love the way you darken the eyes. That's the way to do it, man. Marcellus, he's the man.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
It is absolutely amazing. So again, between Frankenstein, Godzilla 95, the GMK Godzilla, I have been highly blessed. And again, Frankenstein, don't bite my thumb because I am full of meat. So thank you very much. But
that's
again,
amazing.
Marcellus, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And that's it. But again, we have a great show lined up for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. So now I'm gonna kick it over to my main man down in Southern California with the awesome, the one and the only David Eric Dopko. What's going on, David?
Hey, Leslie, I loved your show and tell this week. Every single one I kind of want, especially that Frankenstein. Oh my God, that's so cool. So yeah, this episode's going to be a little different. Coming off of that epic episode we had last month,
right?
You know, we couldn't really possibly top that one because we all had such a good time. Hopefully, all you guys had a great time and everybody got their prizes and all that stuff. And thank everybody for tuning in. That was just an amazing time. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting show. You're going to get to see kind of what we talk about behind the scenes when we're planning these episodes. So you guys are going to be involved in that, which is really, really cool. So with that said, let's show it and tell. Okay, so I only have two things to show and tell. So let's just get started, Kyle. You've got some images for me. This is the which one are we going to start with? Tom Whalen. Let's start with the Tom Whalen Mothra versus Godzilla print. Okay, so I bought this a while ago.
Nice.
They were sold out almost instantly from Mondo's, but I emailed Tom and he was able to get me one after the fact, and I really appreciate that because Leslie knows that this is my jam right here. And this is the second version, the Japanese style, and it's pretty big. It's 24 by 36, and it's limited to 125 pieces. And of course, it's the Mothra versus Godzilla 1964 screen print by Tom Whalen and Mondo, and it's beautiful. And this is right before I hung it up. And the next image, Kyle, there it is hung up. Sorry about that glare. The California sun's coming through the windows, but it's right in the hallway, right as you go into the bedroom, and you can see he's just looks perfect there, and the colors are just so eye-catching and beautiful, and I am incredibly stoked to own this piece. Thank you, Tom.
That's great.
And I just really love it. So it's kind of an older Showa and Tell that just kind of got finished, and we finally found a good framers to get some work done. So
it's beautiful.
That's my first one, and my second one. This is another one that's going to be sort of. It already is in like. I think my light just went out. Damn it! Oh well. You can still see me. This was a purchase that I'm so incredibly stoked to have made. And without further ado, it's the Sarujirushi Hell Beast.
Oh, it's
Now,
so cool.
Cool.
this is sculpted by the incredible Masami Yamada, and it's inspired by a creature in a Buddhist scroll by artist Kano Kazinobu from the 1600s. And I think one of these scrolls, or more than one of these scrolls, is visible to see at the Sensoji Temple in Asakusa. So, Kyle, you're gonna have to like verify that for me when you get a chance to go down there and check it out.
That's pretty cool.
It of course it's a mythological Japanese creature, but they used the Knot storyboard sculpt mold to create like the main body of this, but it's a completely new head and new spines on the back, and it's just absolutely stunning. Let me show you guys the header card too. This one is number 10 out of 30.
Nice.
Wow. Isn't that cool?
You got a good one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's signed by Yamada-san and I think Saru Jirushi too. I'm not quite sure, but it is absolutely stunning. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to purchase one of these. And again, it's definitely quickly elevated to one of my favorite pieces in my collection because, as many of you know, I do love, kaiju and Japanese mythology. And when pop culture and Japanese mythology kind of come together, that's my sweet spot, and I absolutely love it. So much thanks to everybody who made this, and I'm really stoked to have it. So. And then one more quick thing I want to show you that I found when I was unpacking some stuff. This is kind of funny. Back in the 70s, when I was a kid, there wasn't that much Godzilla stuff around for us to buy. But they had these trading cards that were sold at drugstores like Woolworths and things like that. And they were called You'll Die Laughing. And one of the cards that I absolutely loved, and I still kept from when I was a kid in the 70s, is this one right here.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that funny? It's from, of course, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. And it says, Brand A gives faster relief than the other leading brand. And you can see it's there. And they had all different classic monsters, like Universal monsters and, Toho monsters. And on the back, they have a joke. Let's read this joke. It says, what do monsters have that no other creatures have? Give up. Baby monsters. Ba-dum-bum.
What?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff.
That's a joke? Okay.
Yeah, but I probably laughed at it, in 1973. But yeah, these are this I found it, and I wanted to show off to you guys. It's so cool. But
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all I got. I've got a couple of fun things on the way. But that's all I've got. Christine, how about you? What are you going to show us up there in wet, chilly Northern California?
Know. What is going on up here? It's April, man. It should be like 70s, 80s, but we're rainy, we're cold. Repping my cool.
You've got that Pacific
hoodie.
Northwest weather,
Yeah, you do.
which is April showers bring May showers, bring
That's
June
right.
showers.
And June
yeah.
showers,
I
and
don't
July
want that
showers.
many. No, I do not want that. So, yeah, I'm excited for this episode. I mean, it's always fun to chat with, our viewers and all that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't even remember. I got a bunch of things, but all right, my show and tell. One thing I'm super excited I finally got. So I've been trying to complete my Parababy set, right? My Marmot Parababy set.
Oh, I love
And there's a
Parababy.
few that I had been hunting for years now. I finally got, oh my god,
Which
the
one?
65 Godzilla
Oh,
with the
I got you.
P1
Oh,
spaceship.
P1.
Oh
Nice,
yeah!
nice.
I already
That's
had the 65. I had the blue one that came with Rodan. I think it was
That's
like
the
a
one
Wonder
that I
Press
have.
set.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I wanted the P1. I love the little extras that come with the Parababies. And yeah, I wanted this one so bad. So, and I got two of these guys with the different colors. So obviously I'm going to keep them. But super excited to have the P1. I'm slowly checking off the things that I want on my Parababy set. And it wasn't ridiculously priced. Because every now and then this one kind of goes for high. But it was, decent. Enough that I pulled the trigger on it. So hopefully this means I can complete the rest of my set soon.
Power babies
Slowly.
are expensive. I'm after a couple
Fingers
too.
crossed.
Yeah, of
including
course, like,
I'm looking for a dime machine, and they're really expensive right
oh
now.
my god.
And but they're every once in a while, if you check Mandarake, there's one shows up that's like not ridiculously priced.
There's actually two.
I didn't
of
realize
these.
there was a
Two of these
Parababy and
ones.
Machine.
Oh, Kyle, it's awesome. It's so good. Dan Miller has one.
Dan has everything.
I'm trying to talk him into selling it to me when he's ready. So if I don't find one before that, Dan, you're the man as usual.
Dan is the man. Dan literally has everything. I've gotten some great pieces
Oh,
from him.
nice.
You just gotta wear him down. Just keep pestering him. Eventually, he'll give it.
Oh, is that how it works, Christine?
Yeah, David, I'm trying. I'm trying on you. 54
All right. Okay, next.
My second piece, I got. Oh, this one I'm super excited for. I've been wanting one of these for a while. The Shin Maru. This is the GMK Godzilla.
Oh, I've never seen those in person before.
Me either. It's smaller than I thought because you can never tell pictures like online. But so this is a 3D printed figure, and yeah, he's all articulated, and you can like his little mouth is all articulated.
What's the quality like out of 1 to 5? What do you think? What would you say with the vinyl?
Oh, the vinyl. It's like hard. It's like hard. I'd say probably 4.
Okay.
Out of it,
Is
I
it
think,
actually
but
vinyl
it's
though?
light.
That's what my question
Well, I
is.
don't
Like,
because it's 3D printed, so like I don't know what do they use. It's very light though, super light.
Light and hard.
Yeah, light and hard. So I don't know what kind of material they use. And I guess it's what do they use to print
Plastic?
3D figures with?
it's usually resin.
Super light
yeah.
though. But he's cute, and I like his colorway. So I do.
I
wanna
like
get
that
more.
I like the jaw opens and closes.
Yeah, and they have a
Yeah,
Shin
I actually
Godzilla
want to
that
get one of
I
those
want.
GMKs. Big surprise.
And I think he's doing a -1 too, and he had teased that like
Yep.
his Instagram. So yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
fan.
actually, he's going to be showing the -1, I think, at a show next month in Tokyo or somewhere.
It looks really good. I like his style.
He just did a
Cute.
gigantic GMK. Like, I think it's like this big.
Oh wait, he did? I thought it was the Shin Godzilla. Oh, I must have missed the GMK.
Did I say
one.
GMK? I meant Shin Godzilla.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sick.
the Shin one looks cool. I want to get one of those.
Yeah, because
They're
it like
pretty neat.
it like does like crazy head movements. Like you could pull the jaw apart.
The
and
split
stuff like
jaw. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cool. I think Monster Patrol Toys has. I don't know if they have the big one or the one that's this size, but I know they have one of the Shins.
I like the small ones.
That's really
Small ones are
cool.
great.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah.
Super cute. Last thing I got. Oh, this I actually just picked up yesterday. It's not a figure, but this was in my local Bel Air grocery store kind of thingy. But it's actually because I like getting like any kind of magazines or whatever that has Godzilla stuff in it. It's actually really cool. It's not all about the new movie. It has everything from like the old King Kong, like
33.
it has like all kinds of stuff. It talks about like I just like skimmed through it the other day, but it's got let's see. Well, it does talk about. It has like some interviews with Adam Wingard and stuff. Yeah, pretty cool. Look at us. Yeah, some really cool stuff in it.
Does it cover 1962?
It has. Oh yeah, it
Escapes.
has that in there. It has
Toho Kong in there.
Mechana Kong in here. Yeah, it's pretty neat. They got a whole bunch of stuff.
Does it say who won?
I didn't get that far. There's a lot to read in this thing. They even cover the '98 Godzilla. It's like all kinds of different stuff. It's all like the history, like all the old movies
David's
of
depressed
Kong.
now. David's depressed right now.
And then
Leslie,
it's got,
you
like,
had to spoil it
the
for me. I was
Godzilla
with you
game.
up until a point, and then
It's got pretty much everything about both of them, like leading up to them, finally getting our showdown between
That's cool.
Godzilla and Kong. So yeah, pretty cool. So that's what I have picked up recently. I got a ton of pre-orders coming in, which I'm so looking forward to between X Plus and Mondo, and I don't even know who else I pre-ordered from.
Peter
They're
Santa
everywhere.
Maria is coming.
Yes, that's coming. I think soon. This month or
Very
next
soon.
month, right?
Yep. Mecha Godzilla's coming very soon.
Super stoked for that. It looks gorgeous. Love his stuff. I'm so excited we're getting figures along with his art. So how lucky are we to be living in these times, man? But I will pass it up to you, Kyle. What did you get to show us? I'm sure you got some cool stuff out there in Japan.
Yeah, I have more stuff this month than I had in a while.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and we've culled this down. Oh, we're not spending like 2 hours on the Showa Tell, but I will. I've got a few things. I've got 3 things to show and then an extra thing, just because I'm greedy.
Oh,
But so this is one of the more recent guys. I've had him for a
You
little
wanted
while.
that.
But this is
You
the
wanted that for a
glow in
minute.
the dark.
Yep.
oh my god.
This is the T-base
nice.
GMK. Huge,
Beautiful.
very large figure. I'm super stoked to have it. And actually, now that I've seen, I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but now that I've seen what the other versions looked like, because there's the one Christine has, which is like red and black marbled
Yeah.
vinyl. There's this one. Those are the 2 original releases. And then there's like sort of a meat looking pink marbled vinyl. It also glows in the dark. And then there's also a blue marbled, which I thought I wanted. I thought I really wanted that. But then when I saw pictures of it online, it looks more like black and white marbled. And it's not as awesome as the colorway here. So
Did you see one in
super
person
stoked.
yet?
I
Of the
love that
black,
one.
because it looks like it's
No,
got
just they had one on Mandarake. We talked about it with Christine, like when it was up there. But
because
yeah,
somebody had posted a picture of it. It looked like it had like blue shimmer, like glitter in it. The
I haven't
marbled
seen it
blue
in
one.
person.
Huh.
Maybe I'll see one in person. But the fact that these things are not cheap when they're on the table at Wonder Festival means that they
Yeah.
are going for crazy amounts on the aftermarket.
But
so
they're freaking awesome.
they are freaking awesome. Okay. Now let's go with literally the most recent thing that I have. Literally showed up just yesterday, and it's a yokai. And actually, I don't even remember who made this, but this was available through Hakaba, the
God.
Graveyard Gallery.
That's cool as hell.
That's
So it's
awesome.
a Nue, I think is how you say it. This is like a monkey head, a tiger body, and a snake tail. And this guy glows in the dark, and I love this guy so much. He's like, in some ways, it looks as if the artist from the Curious George books designed a yokai. And I think it's really cool.
I love it.
That's really neat.
So yeah, I've actually been working on my yokai shelf, because the Godzilla stuff, it's everywhere here, and like I see Godzilla stuff all the time, which is not supposed to sound that braggy, but
Must be nice.
essentially it is nice. We have a book off up the street, right, which is a secondhand, a hobby off book off, and there's a ton of stuff in there. Like I was telling Lady Kyle, like we could just walk in and take out tons of Ultra Bandai figures. Anyway,
Wow.
That's great.
so you can't really see it because of my microphone, but right there, that's my yokai shelf.
Nice.
And even the other day, Lady Kyle and I went up to a different city here on our train line called Matsudo. And we were there for totally different reasons. And as we're in this one section, there's like a little mall, and it's like a place called Toy Planet. And I was like, it's probably going to suck, probably not going to be nothing I want. And it was a used store like Mandarake, like Book Off, and like Hobby Off. And basically, I walked up there, and they had a ton of gachapon figures
I
for
love
sale.
it.
And so
Ooh.
for like 320 yen each, I picked up like 4 or 5 gachapon that were all
Dang.
yokai related, and they're just like really cool. But anyway, yeah, I'm really happy with how much kaiju activity there is here in Japan. And speaking of kaiju activity, let's see here. I went on an activity. I think Helmy's watching right now. Helmy and I hooked up and went to Osaka together. And the reason we went to Osaka was to go to the Awaji Island Godzilla interception operation theme
Shan.
park, right? So let me just quickly say, really fun experience. There's Helmy. What's up, buddy? Yeah, so basically the deal is that they have the ride, obviously the zip line thing. There's a museum, and then there's also a store, and there's Godzilla related food. But attached to the zipline experience, they showed this movie ahead of time, which is actually really like very nice, very well produced. And during the movie, David,
Yes.
specifically, I was thinking of you because the concept of this little movie that they show is that Shin Godzilla has actually been attacking Awaji Island for centuries.
Oh,
And so
love it.
one of the things they did, it's actually going to be difficult to show. One of the things that they showed in the movie was this classic, like, Edo style artwork of Shin Godzilla attacking an army of people.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
let's
so
see.
I was like, oh man, I wish they had a print of this. They didn't have a print, but they had a towel in quotation marks. But look at this. Look at this thing.
Oh, look
Oh
at
my
that.
god!
Okay, that is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's so cool.
That's creepy.
Wow, I love it.
Wow. Oh my
Love
god.
it. I want to see
huge.
that movie. Thank you.
Yeah, it's huge. It is very big. And the movie was real fun. It was, short, but it was well made. Like, actually, not kidding. It was very slick. Almost like you watch that movie and you're like, man, I hope the guy who made this gets to make a Godzilla movie sometime. Helmy says that he can attest that Kyle was grinning ear to ear while watching the intro. And I was. It was really good. There's another one back here, too. I'm going to lift my camera off and see if you can see it up on the wall there. But see, right in the center of the screen, there's a tattoo style, ukiyo-e style, I should say. Godzilla attacking a samurai, which is also on a towel. Really cool. And I was really glad that they had those available for purchase, at least as,
That's neat.
towels.
Was it expensive, Kyle, or not too bad?
No, not too bad. Like, I think that this one here, the bigger one, was like 3,000 yen, so 30-ish bucks, and the
That's not bad.
smaller one
That's not
was about
bad.
20 bucks.
Is it like a bath towel or?
No, it's not really. It's almost like a microfiber towel. Like, it's, I don't know why.
It's like
I
those-
really don't know why they call them towels, because number one, I would never want to wipe anything up with
No,
this.
no.
And number
That's
two,
awesome.
it's only on one side, like, so it really is kind of like, it's just, I'm gonna hang them up on the wall like that one over
maybe it's like
here.
those flags, like those flag things people get, to hang up.
I mean, it's
flag-
kind of like
flag
that,
things?
but I have tenagui as
Huh.
well, if that's what you're talking about. And their tenagui are thin and cotton. I'm being specific and nerdy right now. Tenagui are thin and cotton, and these are definitely like a thicker material. It does feel like a towel, but not as thick as a bath towel or a
Love
beach
it.
towel. It's freaking weird. But anyway,
I love it. Thank you
I'm
for sharing
very
that
happy
one.
to have them.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Groovy.
And last but not least, also purchased in the grand city of Osaka.
I know what this is.
I've been
And I'm
wanting one of
jealous.
these since they did the first colorway in green.
I'm
This
I'm
is
jealous.
the
Yeah.
Kaiju, strongest
Yeah.
Kaiju, which is based off of an old magazine illustration.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if I'm going to get everybody right here, but there's Godzilla's head,
Yes.
Ghidorah's head,
Yes.
Daimajine's helmet on top of Kong's head as like the three heads of a
it's
Ghidorah.
Kong.
The claws
Balton.
of Balton. I think these are Red King's arms. I don't know about the legs. The wings are
Rodan's
definitely
wings.
Rodan wings.
Rodan
Oh
for
my
sure.
god.
These eyes here are like a yokai. I'm not sure which one. And then just it's so cool.
I got to get
So
one of
happy
those.
to have
That's
one.
freaking amazing. Love it. I love that colorway too.
Yeah, it's very classic kaiju or classic Sofubi.
Are there
Kong
more?
looks like
Did he have more of those available at the shop, or was that just like he had
No,
like
that
one or two
was
left?
actually that was a lottery thing. So
Oh, that's
basically,
what I thought.
Yeah, and they did have them for lottery sale, international lottery sales, but I don't even know if they're still around anymore. So this was at the beginning of the month. When did we go? Yeah, we went at the end of last month, the beginning of this month, and so
I'm hoping for another colorway.
I would be disappointed. I jokingly said, I was like, you know what they're going to do next is they're going to do a glow in the dark color, and I'm going to be like,
Oh my god!
because they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
No,
Not
I
something
know,
that I'd be
I
like,
know.
oh, let me have all the colorways of this one.
I saw your unboxing video, and I was like, dude, that's one of the good ones, man. That's one of the good ones.
I love it. It's so good. In
Awesome.
fact, I put him up on the shelf. I had trouble getting him down this morning. I was like, okay, got to rearrange some people so I could take him off the shelf. But yeah, so that's my Showa Intel. Thank you guys for hanging out and enjoying. We are going to move on to our next segment, which is the chat room check-in, where we typically just highlight people's names who are watching. We got 43 people now watching live on YouTube and Facebook, and thank you for being here. Leslie, I'll do my best to get everybody's comments up on the screen if you're ready.
I'm ready when you are, good sir.
All right.
All right, here we go. Fancies of Cats, thank you for being here. Of course, Kaiju Battle. Hail me again. I'm sick and tired of seeing him go to Japan every other week. It's like
must be nice.
Again, are you hiring? Just holler at a brother. Just let me know. Michael Hang, Nathaniel Plummer, Frank, Larry Latham, Colin, Johnny Coke, Dan Cesaro, Marcellus, what's up, man? Kaiju Tastic Media, Greg Coggin, Tim Bartos.
What's up, Greg?
Mike Keller, again, Kaiju Tastic Media, Husky Do, okay. Eric Stope, Godzilla Cartoon Sci-Fi Horror Fan 2K, Mr. Caldi, sorry if I killed that. Robert D, Godzilla Train 1090, Octil in the chat.
What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
Renato Cunha. I'm sorry if I killed that. I know I did. Let's see who else. Alcosaurus, Albert Escobedo, Kaiju Haku. Let's see who else. Again, Octil again. What's up, man? Westish. Let's see. Just some of these things I've never seen before. So we got some new viewers
got some
here.
new
Thank
people
you.
watching. Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Welcome to the group chat.
Yeah. Ray 2D2. Oh, I like that.
That's
I like
cool
that.
name.
I like that name. Let's see who else. Paul Plutzker.
What's up, Paul?
And that is it.
I saw Butch Portillo in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
who else did I see? I saw
Happy
Jordan
birthday,
Leitner at some point. But yeah, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for watching and spending your Saturday afternoon with us. And yeah, we are going to be moving on into our next regular segment here. We get the video ready, which is our Kaiju Collectible News. All right, so as we do normally here on the show, we have each chosen one particular news item to talk about for Kaiju Collectible releases or Kaiju information. And as the rounds go, we're going to start things off with Mr. Leslie Chambers.
Yes, mine is very, very brief. Again, of course, you know I'm a huge fan of Monster Maker 28, the Resin Model Kit Studio, and they just teased a couple days ago on their blog what their next kit is going to be. Now, they brought out Gamma 95 earlier this year in time of Winter Wonder Fest. And so the next kit they're going to do, and he's going to try to have it ready. Most likely he will have it ready by Summer Wonder Fest. When's that? Late July or August, right?
Mid-July.
Mid-July? Okay. Well, you know, we came from the Heisei series with Gamma 95. Now we're going towards the Millennium series. As a matter of fact, the first villain of the Millennium series, and he's going to be doing a 30cm resin model kit of Orga. Yes, Orga.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So can't wait to see what this
Dang.
thing looks like. Again, it's going to be 30 centimeters. More likely, he'll probably going to be the regular Orga instead of the one with the big giant mouth that Godzilla foolishly tried to making it into an apartment for some reason. I don't know why Godzilla did that, but I hope he does that. I hope he does do not only the regular mouth one, but I actually prefer the bigger mouth Orga. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, again, this is going to be like the first ever 30cm Orga.
Wow.
At least most recent one that we have access to. Because again, our Super Toho Godzilla 99s from S Plus is kind of lonely, so we're gonna need something to put him up against. So again, he's probably gonna have this at the show ready. And Kyle, I'm already putting my order in with you. If you can get one, hey, get one. I really do appreciate it. I have to be honest here. I am a little bit disappointed. Now, don't get me wrong. I am going to get this kit, God willing. But I am a little bit disappointed that King Caesar 74 wasn't the next kit from Monster Maker 28 because the time would have been perfect.
That would have made more sense.
It would have made more sense. But again, he's doing Oregon. And again, you can't go wrong with Monster Maker 28. So I'm not going to complain all that much. But again, with King Caesar, I was looking forward to that. But at the same time, blow me up right fast. Like Thanos said at what movie was that? I think it was The Avengers, whatever. Sometimes you gotta do things. You gotta take matters into your own hands. So that's all I gotta say about that, Marcellus, and that's all I gotta say about that. So, but yeah, Monster Maker 28. They're doing a regimental kit of Orga, dropping Summer Winter Fest in the summer. Can't wait to see what that thing looks like. And he's probably gonna showcase progress pictures leading up to the event. He always does that. So if I get any more pictures, I'll be sure to share them here on Collect All Monsters. And that's what I want to talk about in my new segment. David, what you want to talk about, my friend?
Well, before I talk about my thing, I think you said two cool things. You said Marcellus and you said King Caesar. Maybe Marcellus can make us a life-size King Caesar statue.
Oh, a life size or giant?
I mean, no. I mean, the size that it is, the normal, like a King Caesar statue. I think that would be something.
David, I will let you know this. I'm not gonna spoil the whole bag here, but I will tell you that is a real possibility. DM me.
Goodness.
DM me, and we can make that happen.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll talk later. That's awesome. So anyway, I'm going to highlight something that we at Collect All Monsters actually highlighted on a supplemental video Kyle and I did. And of course, I'm talking about the Seismic Shin Gomez. And Kyle's got some images that he can show up there. Now, this kind of, for me, I've kind of not been, my finger hasn't been on the pulse of the collecting community as much as it usually is. So this kind of came out of nowhere for me. And I was like, oh my God, that is so cool when Kyle posted it. And this is, of course, from Alex and Chris and the fine folks at Seismic Toys. It's going to be a 9.5-inch tall figure, hand-painted quality vinyl with 5 points of articulation, sculpted by the celebrated kaiju artist Dope Pope.
Nice.
And I'll tell you what, I know I just put my order in yesterday. Now, I'm going to tell you where you can do it. If you're like Christine and me, we were just talking about all these things on pre-order, and your wallet gets pretty, your wallet's not your friend. You can buy it. You can pre-order it from Big Bad Toy Store, and you only need a $16 deposit.
Nice.
So you don't have to pay it all at once. So as I mentioned, you can get it at Big Bad Toy Store. It's retailing for $159.99, and you can also get it at Entertainment Earth, Sideshow, and of course the Seismic Toys website too. So I mean, I know they've done some figures in the past that were super stylized, but this one, as we talked about, and I do suggest you guys go back and watch that video that Kyle and I did. You can hear it right from the horses' mouths, and it was a great interview, and I'm really happy for those guys. And this piece looks absolutely amazing.
It looks great.
Wow.
And I know, Leslie, are you even like remotely interested in this? I heard a little twinge of interest there. I don't know.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I love Shin Gomez. I haven't seen Shin Ultraman yet, but I do know that he's in the movie for like a split second. But when I saw that, I was like,
well, make sure in the beginning of the film you don't blink because you may miss him.
Yeah.
But
I heard about that.
there's quality versus quantity. I've always said that, and I truly believe that. But anyway, please come out and support our friends Chris and Alex and Seismic Toys, and it is available up until April 25th. And we tried to get some information about will there be another colorway, et cetera, and they were a little bit sort of cagey, but there may be a limited edition that will be a little bit harder to get. So but if you do want this, I suggest you jump on the bandwagon because the clock is ticking. April 25th. So congratulations to those guys.
Absolutely.
So that's my news story. Christine, what are you going to tell us about?
All right. Well, first of all, since we're putting in orders with Marcellus here,
Oh no!
I'm gonna say Marcellus. I mean, anytime you want to make a rose violante, I'm here for that. I mean, this is priority, man. We don't have anything. Somebody please make a dang rose violante already. It's driving me crazy. I mean, I got the lovely, I love my Marathon, I love my Marmots, but come on. I want the
you want a realistic. You want a
somebody.
Yeah.
Super
Girl
7 is
favor
sitting here.
I love Super 7. I have the Super 7 also. And I'm talking, I want
You
like
talk
a
about
big
gigantic.
old...
You want something big.
Yeah.
You're like mine, right? The big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody. Marcellus.
He can
Don't
do
let
it.
me down, man.
He can do it.
Don't let me down. Goodness. Oh, so my news. So,
Your news.
My news. I got distracted here. I'm all about that Sofubi life, right? Sofi. I can never say it right. Sofubi, Sofi. So, Medicom. I love the Medicom lotteries. I know they're a pain. We're not all the biggest fan of the lottery system.
No, we're
and
not.
A lot of them are Japan only, but you can still enter if you have a Tenso account and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, I think end of this month, April 24th, the lottery's opening for one of our favorites, Anraku Ansaku.
Oh, okay.
Look at this, Destroya. Man.
Destroya.
Yes, and he would pair very nicely with their Burning Godzilla that they have. This little guy right here. There's so many colorways of this one out, but I mean, super fun, super cute sculpts. This guy looks pretty dang big. It's gonna be 22,000 yen, so about like $150, maybe US. I mean, they're just his style is so great, and I'm loving that we're always getting new kaiju from him, new kaiju sculpts. So this is the next up in the line. I mean, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. And you can make a Tenso account so you can enter, because this is probably going to be Japan only, like the recent ones.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how to make a Tenso account, reach out to us or me, or I don't know if like Kyle.
There's a cool
Leslie.
video on the Collect All Monsters YouTube channel that shows how to do it.
There you go.
Just saying.
Yep, because you get a Japanese address and all that, and you can enter. So if you're interested, look up our video then on how to make a Tenso account and go ahead and enter. If you win, just enter just because. If you win one and you don't want it, I will take it off your hands because I really want one.
let's say something real quick. If you do win, if your name gets pulled for the lotteries and you don't pay, you get banned from all future lotteries. By the way, if you didn't know that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Never
Same
win
thing on
another
Mandarake.
lottery. Yeah.
Same thing on Mandarake.
Yeah.
If you get an item and that you wait until you see if it's a storefront item, whether it's available, and they say they're waiting for the payment and you don't pay, you can never order from Mandarake again. They won't do it.
That's true.
So I mean, enter, and even if you don't want it, it's resell. The resale value for these things are so. I mean, people want one of these.
There's
and
always somebody who wants one.
Always somebody will get it.
So, Christine, what's the scale of that? It looks like it's going to be pretty big. Are there any information about the scale?
Shoot, I think it did say, but I'm assuming. I mean, they're all
they're pretty big,
about the same.
So it'll be
like 9, 10. They're taller than. They're bigger than an M1.
It's probably going to be bigger than those. It'll probably scale nicely with the Neo Player 195 too, right?
Oh, that guy's really. He's big. He's real big. The giant one's pretty big, but I'm assuming it's going to be around the same scale as
scale as those. Okay.
As
26 centimeters tall.
26 centimeters. Okay, so pretty big. That's pretty big.
Is that bigger than this? I don't know how many centimeters these are. What centimeters?
26 is
centimeters
like 9.
I only have the one. I only have one Anraku Ansaku. He's pretty large. I'd say
they're bulky too.
Yeah.
26 centimeters in inches.
It's just
like
it's
9,
just under
like
Christine.
Yeah.
Look at
so the same as this then.
Yeah, look at a 30 centimeter X plus. It's just smaller than that, just a little bit smaller than that.
Oh, true. Right? Okay, and these are like, all right, yeah, these are about the same size as it.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so it looks like they're in the
excellent
same kind of scale. Oh, I got them backwards up here.
Mike Mike Ferris said 9 to 10 inches.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and scaled all the rest.
Hi,
Of
Mike.
the rest of the dudes here. I'm really excited for it. I love the Unrock on Saku stuff. I really wanted the Space Godzilla and I didn't win. And none have been showing up online, so I don't think they've actually shipped yet. But if anybody bought one of those and they don't want it, I'll take it off your hands.
Awesome. Thanks, Christine.
You're welcome. So, Kyle, what exciting news have you got for us?
Oh boy, you know, Christine, you already know what I'm going to share, even though I didn't talk about this in our group chat earlier.
I don't know.
Because here in Japan, we have a whole bunch of really cool things happening here all the time, and I'm not complaining. This is a great thing. And speaking of what David just mentioned, the Neo Player One, they have an event happening in Tokyo. Is that coming up? Yeah. My first one from Neo Player One is happening in Ginza, starting on the 24th, and I think going for 5 days at this Hankyu Men's store. It's going to be probably like a pop-up kind of thing. Now, this event, I'm only going to be able to go one day if I even go, but I've already entered for their lottery. This is going to drive the lottery haters crazy. So number one,
Great.
They have 4 figures that are pre-lottery. How would you say this? Like almost like a pre-order lottery, but it's not a pre-order. Like you would apply ahead of time. So each of these 4 figures, that's a black with red or orange.
Love it.
Mosugoji,
That's the one I choose.
That's super
a
cool.
yellow 54, the
So
cool
cute.
cool Hedera down there on the lower left, and then of course the that is the big size
The big one.
Burning Godzilla. The really very very expensive too. I think with the conversion rate it's about $700. So basically you enter
What? For the
to-
giant one?
Yeah, for the giant one, yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, it's
okay.
like 10
It must
it's
be-
like 100,000 yen or something like that. 102,000 yen.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Wow. But it looks
Yikes.
beautiful though.
Yeah. It does
Wow.
look beautiful. And there's
The
I'm not saying
64
yeah.
64 is great too.
The 64, I think the Hedera is really cute too. But anyway,
Yeah, the colors.
So is the 54. I mean, come on.
I know.
Yes.
I love. They're
They're
all
all
just so
great.
cute.
but basically you have to enter the lottery between now and the 19th, which is weird. I thought they were going to announce them on the 16th. But anyway,
Yeah.
you enter the lottery and they tell you if your number was picked, right? And then you can come to the store. But that's not all, because not only do they have these 4 figures that you can apply for the lottery right now, there's also these 5
Yes.
figures that are available for each day of the opening of the show. But I think these are also lottery
Yeah.
like lottery figures too. So if you go on the 24th, which is the day that I think I would be going, then I'm going to try and get this Space Godzilla for Christine.
Yes,
but
I love it.
I don't know if I'm going or not, because I don't know if my number's going
Yeah.
to get
No
picked.
worries. No worries.
And then the second day, Thursday, is the Devil Man. The third day is a Mazinger Z.
Which that's
actually
pretty
the one
cool.
I'm most interested in is the Desugoji here on the 27th, because it's the small version. It's got a really cool colorway.
Is that the
And then
blue
on the
glitter
28th,
one?
yeah, I think so.
Oh.
And then on the 28th, there's another Space Godzilla. Basically, all this information comes from our good friends' Instagram. So if you're not following Neo Player One on Instagram, that's where they're posting all this information with all the details. And I would, if you're interested in this and you have the way to do it, the problem here is if you're outside of Japan, you're really at a disadvantage, because it's not just that you don't just need a Japanese address. You need someone who can actually go and pick it up for you.
Go to the store. You have to go to the physical
Yeah,
store.
it's really lots of barriers for this one. But that's my news item. The Neo
But
Player One, my first
He
one.
does do overseas lotteries eventually too.
Yes, he does.
It'll be different
So again,
colorways, though.
follow him on Instagram if you are so inclined to have an Instagram account, because that's where you're going to find out the majority of information about these releases, as aggravating as some of them might be. But that's my news item.
Love it.
And I don't
Great.
need to spend too much time on it. Yeah, it's really interesting. But just one of the many, 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 many events that are happening here in Japan. I think, as some of us already know, there's like another Godzilla Day
Oh,
event
yeah.
happening in Osaka, like at the end of this month, and the next month there is a Volks. You know the company Volks, David?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a special event, and it looks like there's some cool stuff. Plus, there's like another Kaiju World exhibition model kit thing happening. It's like
Oh,
there's so
wow.
much stuff happening here. It's actually sometimes it gets a little overwhelming for me. I'm like, I can't do everything, you know. But thankfully, a majority of these things are in Tokyo. If like the Osaka Godzilla Day, I think that's for people in Osaka to experience Godzilla Day. Because I did go
Wow.
to that. I did go to the Godzilla store in Osaka, and it was pretty fantastic. Pretty great shop. Anyway, that's going to do it for our Kaiju Collectible news segment. And we're going to go ahead and, oh, look at that. We're at an hour exactly into the show.
Look
So
at
you know what
us.
that means. Intermission time. And when we come back from intermission, we've got our segment, our brainstorming segment. So we'll be back in just 2 minutes.
今度のやつは強すぎます。最強です。
全く歯が立ちません。打つ手なしか。諦めるには早いですな。君。
はい。これはダンシングゴジラ。
モノマネマシーン。完成してたのか。
なるほど。ゴジラにはゴジラ、最強には最強か。
今三菱の超最強シーンを買うとモノマネマシーン付きダンシングゴジラが当たります。
福井はいいわね。
のんびりできます。
ご苦労様。今の
まさかウルトラマンだ。
郵便配ってるんだ。
こんなところに。
頑張ってるわよ、若いのに。地球守って郵便配って偉いわね。
お、待て。
ちょっと追いつかないわよ、早いから。
無理しないで。早いなあいつ。
いい年なんだから。
飛べばいいじゃないか。
ポケットにウルトラ Wi-Fi ソフトバンク。
新たなる戦いが始まる。ガメラ。でも今はまだ8センチ。小さき勇者たち、ガメラ。
All right. Well, David's frozen, and not in a bad way.
Oh,
He's
no.
just, you know, Barugon
Shimo got him.
and so or
Shimo
Shimo got him. Shimo's basically like, it totally looks to me like somebody said, "Hey, we want to have Angulus in the film, but we want to give him like ice powers," and Toho was
I
like,
kind of thought.
"No, we don't want that to happen." And they're like, "Okay, fine, we'll make our own monster."
It's the female version of Angie, I guess.
But yeah, so we'll connect back with David in just a second. Until then, we'll vamp for a little bit, and this is a good opportunity for Christine and Leslie to talk about the movie. Oh wait, no, don't do it. David's back.
Oh, he's like, no, don't do it.
What happened? I don't know what happened. Halfway through when you were talking, Kyle, my screen just went black. You could hear me, but you couldn't see me, right?
Oh, it went black.
Everything that you didn't have any issues with any audio coming from your side.
Okay, well, here I am. I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
That's okay, man. No big deal. We're just about to get into our main segment.
Excellent.
Yeah. So here we are. We're gonna basically do we're gonna do what we do on the semi-regular basis, which is, it's been a while since we've talked about what we're gonna do in the future episodes of the show. Actually, Leslie, this was Leslie's idea, so I think what I'll probably do is give you the big screen here.
Thank you very much. Yeah, basically, because again, we have been so busy in our personal lives that we actually almost forgot that we had an episode this weekend. So we were kind of like scrambling to come up with an appropriate topic for discussion. And I just threw it out there. I was like, how about we do like a live brainstorming session where we bring you into our session? Because if you don't know, obviously you don't, because our sessions are private. We all get together and have meetings every now and then to discuss an upcoming episode or supplemental video. Yes, we're talking about the show and how it's going to be formatted and what's going to be put in there and what we can talk about, what we can't talk about. But really, it's like a conversation between friends that that we have this conversation that start off talking about the show, but it generates into like a conversation, a fun conversation. Then we go back to the show, then we drift off into a conversation. But you know what? That's what having, not only great friends, but co-workers, but your friends or your co-workers and co-workers or your friends, that's what you get. You get great conversation on top of what you need to talk about. So basically, you're going to be like a fly on the wall. As a matter of fact, you know what? You're going to be in the room with us. You know what I'm saying? Because we wouldn't be here without your feedback. We don't want to give you shows that you don't want to see or discuss topics that you don't want to talk about. We try to keep our finger on the pulse of our fan base because that's how we grow as a channel and as a brand. So thank you so much for being loyal to us for all these many years. And again, we're going to start doing more exercises like this, but we bring you into our process. And basically, I just have like some show ideas and some questions I want to throw out to my co-host here as well. Again, you're welcome to chime in. They're not bad.
Lovely questions.
They're not bad, really. If anything, they're thought-provoking. That's the main reason why I do the hard questions, just to give you those thought-provoking answers that you have to come up with. But again, everybody in the chat, you're more welcome to type in your answers, your feedback, and all that good stuff. But again, there's so many great things being celebrated as far as like anniversaries this year. Mostly the bulk of this discussion is going to be about next year in a way. But I do want to talk about one thing that we are going to do this year. Like we already got the show locked in about who's going to be the talking heads. But later on this year, we're going to do a celebration discussion involving our favorite three-headed space dragon known as King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah turns 60 years old this year, you know what I'm saying? Dang. And it's going to be me, David, Robert Trock, I think Marcellus Winters, Andy Peters, and a couple other people. We all get together and talk about our favorite three-headed space dragon. So right off the bat, I have two questions, you know what I'm saying, for everybody here. Of course, for Kyle and Christine or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong. These shows we're going to talk about, not every member of Collectible Monsters is going to be on every single show. We're going to have some people on this show, some people on that show. And of course, we're going to talk about these topics on the main show. So just to give you some diversity when it comes to the talking heads. So two questions involving our favorite space dragon known as King Ghidorah. Now, what is your favorite King Ghidorah movie? I guess we can go in this order with Kyle, David, and Christine, then myself. So what is your favorite movie that has King Ghidorah in it?
Wow, that's actually a lot tougher to answer.
Yeah, you can't just throw these on us, Leslie.
I mean, because for me, King Ghidorah is in two of my favorite Godzilla movies. So which is my favorite King Ghidorah appearance or which is my favorite of the movies? Like,
I'll tell you what,
GMK is really incredible, but King Ghidorah isn't as powerful an opponent in that one. And Monster Zero, also, I absolutely love that movie as well. And even then, like Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster is such a great movie from back in the day. Like, I guess I would say Monster Zero.
I would say answer the question how you feel King Ghidorah is used to the best of his ability.
Okay, it's represented,
Monster
right?
Zero. Monster Zero.
David, what you say?
I didn't say anything yet. I was waiting for Kyle. I'm gonna have to agree with Kyle because although the iconic appearance from the meteorite in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster is awesome, I think that Subaraya sort of perfected the use of the suit for Monster Zero Kaiju Daisenso. Ghidorah never looked his best, I don't think, on screen as he did in Monster Zero. They were able to control the heads a little bit better. The flying scenes weren't as awkward. and they showed some really great close-ups of King Ghidorah, especially at the end when he's attacking, Tokyo or whatever city that was. So yeah, I think they took what they learned from Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster and perfected it in Monster Zero, and then they kind of went downhill from then on, because in Destroy All Monsters they changed the suit a little bit. Well, actually, changed it a lot. It was a whole new suit. And then, of course, we know what happened in Godzilla versus Gigan. That was, not Ghidorah, not at his best.
No.
but I think that Monster Zero really showed the potential of how awesome that monster could be, and like it was the same suit as Ghidorah Three-Headed Monster. They just retooled it a little bit, and they refined the puppeteering of the actual suit. So, yeah, I agree with Kyle. Monster Zero.
Christine, what about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with you guys too. Monster Zero was just such a good representation of Ghidorah, I feel like. I mean, I loved Peter the Three-Headed Monster, but gosh, I love the Heisei suit so much too, though. But we're not talking about suits, we're talking about the movies. So,
no, we're talking about how Ghidorah is represented in the movie. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the movie itself. How you think that monster is represented, right, Leslie?
Right. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I definitely think Monster Zero. He was. I think I would have to go out of all the representations of him. I think it would also have to be Monster Zero, because he was just such an evil terror.
I think that's one of the reasons
really
that Ghidorah succeeds in that movie. Is like Ghidorah in Monster Zero. Not only is the suit amazing, and not only is the performance great, but also there's this sort of like underlying theme presented by the Planet X aliens about the terror that is King Ghidorah, and how he has ravaged their planet, making it so that the surface is uninhabitable, or
exactly
whatever. But and in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, you just kind of get the Venusian prophetess saying like, oh, he's terrible, and it's much less. There's much less gravitas involved than in that one, in my opinion.
I agree. That's a good point. Leslie, how about you? Are you going to make it unanimous, or probably not? But
I'm gonna say something a little bit controversial. I would say my favorite interpretation, at least my favorite movie where Ghidorah is utilized to the fullest, is Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. When
that's not
you have well. Let me finish.
Okay.
When you have a monster that's so bad that you actually make Godzilla a baby face, to the point where he has to get along with another heel bad guy, Rodan, and they have to come together. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, nothing has ever topped his debut appearance in 1964. And it's kind of been, for me, it's been kind of going downhill from here. And what I mean by my controversial opinion is that I've always wanted to see Toho capitalize on the original King Ghidorah ever since 1964, but it's been like a downhill decline in terms of its appearance. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Monster Zero, Destroy All Monsters, Gigan 91, and in my opinion, I think the MonsterVerse has done a better job creating a King Ghidorah that is closer to 1964 than 65, 68, and 72 combined.
There's the controversy. There it is.
He was
there it
evil
is.
in King of the Monsters, eating people, and he was out for blood.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, we ain't got to go into that because, again, we're going to say that for the show. But that's my opinion. My favorite movie involving King Ghidorah is 64. Now, what are your, speaking of Ghidorah, three heads, what are your top three favorite King Ghidorah designs? You can go from your least favorite to your most favorite, or vice versa. Kyle, go first.
I would actually say 1964 to 1965 would be my favorite design of Ghidorah. I do wish that he was less springy headed overall. Like, if it was a little more, like, just in terms of, like, if I could wish things back on the time long past, like, I wish they had more control over the heads so that he looked a little more imposing, because I think later on they got a little more control, which is great for those later incarnations of King Ghidorah. Like, someone is like Bill here is mentioning the legendary King Ghidorah. And I have to say, the legendary King Ghidorah did a pretty good job. I don't love the design of that one, but his acting in that one was pretty great. And like, you know, doesn't have the sort of like happy mistakes that you have in the live action, you know, suit versions of King Ghidorah, but it was pretty impressive. So I would say 64, 65 would be number one. I would say King of the Monsters 2019 would be number two. GMK would be number three, even though I just really like that design, you know, like I think it's a cool design. And then are we counting the 71 and Destroy All Monsters? What is the delineation there? Like is 68 and 71 or 72, are those the same suit, or is it literally like two broken up into two different ones?
I would still break it up. 68
Okay.
is like 64, 65, 68, 72, 91, Mecha King Ghidorah, GMK Ghidorah, Kaiju Ghidorah, Monsterverse Ghidorah, the anime trilogy.
Okay. Oh man. Okay.
There's so many.
That's so many. Well, first up, I'm not going to do a list of all of them like that, but I'm going to give shout outs to Mecha King Ghidorah, because what an incredible concept that was. And I wasn't an active Godzilla fan when that movie came out, but when I was like, oh my god, the internet has told me that they've continued making Godzilla movies, and I found that movie, like Mecha King Ghidorah was definitely like one of my favorite newer incarnations.
Very
like,
cool
what a
idea.
cool concept. Very well done as well. And even in the movie, like, which as you know, Leslie, I'm not a huge fan of the 91 film. That Mecha King Ghidorah is such a cool design. Kaiser Ghidorah also suffers from execution. But I would like to give a shout out to the original design, like the on paper design of Kaiser Ghidorah, and man, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Katsuya Terada is the guy who designed that one, because it really does look cool and way cooler than they could have made in real life. But yeah, shout out to Terada-san. And then, yeah, as you know, like King Ghidorah was the sort of like alternate that Toho basically said, okay, you got to use King Ghidorah and you got to use Mothra for GMK. And so in order to still put some echoes of what had already been designed from the Varan concept art, the designer from GMK gave him like the Varan like head frill spike things too, which I think is really cool.
Cool.
How's that?
That's
good.
cool. David, what are your top three?
So King Ghidorah is my second favorite monster next to Godzilla, as you know that. Everybody knows that. Second favorite. Yeah. Okay. Wait. This is there you go. All right. So I'm gonna do what Kyle did. I'm gonna say my very favorite is the 6465. I mean, there's no way the original. You can't beat that design. It's evil. It's menacing. The scales look phenomenal. And just like Kyle said, that's why I chose Monster Zero over Ghidorah, because they did have a little bit more control over the heads, and then it was a little bit more believable. Whatever. But that's my all-time favorite. And now, middle of the road, I'm going to go with Grand Ghidorah from Mothra 3.
Oh,
I think that design,
cool.
Ibaraki-san is reissuing that kit, which I'm very curious about that kit too. I think that is a really beautiful update of the original sort of concept of King Ghidorah. It stays very true to it. It doesn't stray too far away. Mecha King Ghidorah, shout out to Mecha King Ghidorah just for the reasons Kyle said, because the idea of it is just so phenomenally awesome. Maybe it could be executed just a little bit better, but it was definitely a cool concept. Now let's go to the bottom of the barrel. I do not like the legendary King Ghidorah, and I'll tell you why. It was executed well, the CGI, and I know they had a suit motion actor for each head and each tail or each wing or whatever. However, they were. It's kind of a ripoff of the Game of Thrones dragon. It did not look like King Ghidorah to me. It looked like a U.S. version, like a U.S. dragon. I did not like that head independent Bob or whatever. I think that's absolutely stupid.
Kevin?
Kevin, Bob, Kevin, whatever. Bruce, Shimu, Bob, Kevin, whatever their names are. I did not like that at all. I thought that was ridiculous, and I don't appreciate the memes and everything. I think that's really stupid. It insults the character. But yeah,
separate from the character though.
Well, I mean, it just goes along with the movie. You know what I mean? It's like, why not do that? Because it's just dumb. But anyway, so GMK, I had high expectations for that King Ghidorah, because if they would have executed that King Ghidorah would have been probably beat most of all of them. They just didn't do it. That suit was just too small. King Ghidorah's supposed to be bigger than life. And it was a small suit. The suit acting was a little rough, and the puppeteering was a little rough. But in a nutshell, essentially 64-65 is my first. Grand King Ghidorah is my second, and my very least favorite is the Legendary. So there you have it. Christine, how about you?
Oh man, I've been sitting here thinking about this whole time. I'm torn. It's hard because, like you said, you can't be the original, but I really like the Heisei Ghidorah a lot. I felt like like design-wise, I think it looked, for the time what they could do, they made him look as if it was a real creature. Not like the Showa ones didn't look real, but I don't know. I really always liked the 91 design. Maybe because I grew up.
The Showa one has like an Asian dragon thing
it
going
does.
on in the
Yeah.
face that the Heisei one doesn't. I think the Heisei one definitely is a little more like, if they said like, let's toss out the Asian dragon aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like, what would Ghidorah look like if we're gonna design
Like a
him
space
with this
dragon.
universe?
He looked like a space dragon in 91. I feel like.
The only thing missing from the 91, Christine, is the hair. I wanted more like the King Ghidorah's mane. That
I liked him without the manes.
Did you?
Feel like, yeah, because like dragons, well, I guess in the Eastern, like they don't really have the manes on them. So like, I don't know. I kind of like it. Made him look more Leviathan, kind of like, I guess. I don't know. Heisei's always one of my favorite eras, but I guess that would be my number one. 2 is I gotta go Legendary. I know you don't like it, David, but man, I thought the Legendary King Ghidorah was so cool, and he looked real. I liked the different kind of aspects they gave to him with like the way when he was like crawling, using his wings, kind of like Smaug.
Like Game of Thrones.
And like I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I have seen the like videos and stuff of the dragons, and he did kind of look like that. But I feel like if it was a modern day, like a real life King Ghidorah, I think they did a really awesome job of making it seem like this could be a real creature that, you know, came down to the earth or was on Earth or whatever. And oh man, it's just such a cool, and he was so evil and bad, and it was really neat. Like his whole entrance scene, that was really cool. I like Kevin.
What's the third? No. What's the third?
Death Ghidorah.
Oh, Death Ghidorah.
I actually love Death Ghidorah. I think
I do too. Death Ghidorah's pretty cool. The Cretaceous.
The first time I ever saw
Ghidorah is pretty cool too.
Cretaceous is cool. Yeah,
I like the Cretaceous one.
First time I saw Death Ghidorah was like it was like the photo poster from Mothra 95 or 96 or whatever that was. And it was so impressive looking that I was like, whoa, why didn't I think that would ever be a cool concept, like a 4-legged Ghidorah?
Yeah.
And really, really beautifully done.
It was. It was cool.
He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, this is hard because like I really like the GMK Ghidorah, but like David said, he was a little small, but technically in that movie he hadn't made it to his full.
He was fledgling.
He was full grown. Yeah. So I feel like if we could have seen, we kind of got a tiny glimpse like towards the end once Mothra kind of helped him out. But if we had seen, I would have liked to seen the full version, like the evolved, like, you know, grown up version of GMK. But I really like that design too. I'm gonna go with GMK as my third because like now that I'm looking at the X Plus, like it's just a cool design. I like it, like design wise. Not thinking about the movie or anything like that. I'm gonna go GMK as my number 3.
And see, for me, I'm gonna speak through mine because, again, like David, King Ghidorah is my favorite villain in the Godzilla universe, my favorite adversary of Godzilla. So I take King Ghidorah very, very seriously. Again, my favorite design, 64. Number 2, Monsterverse, hands down, Monsterverse, right there. And number 3, 91. I'm talking about the original 91, Mecha King Ghidorah. I would have liked it if he moved a little bit more, honestly.
It's execution, though.
Yeah, that's the only reason I don't really like Mecha King Ghidorah that much, because he doesn't really, when I saw him,
kind of stays there.
I had no faith he would stop Godzilla. I'm sorry. I don't care how cool he looked. I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, you ain't stopping him. I'm sorry. But I would go with 91. So yeah, that's a show we're gonna be doing later on this year, dedicated to our awesome 3-headed dragons.
Cool.
Ghidorah. We'll let you know when that time comes for that. Now, as far as like future shows, again, there's so many anniversaries we'll celebrate next year, and these next 2 topics is more specifically designed for Christine, and more of a women's perspective topics when it comes to these shows. Because again, we're not, not only uplifting, minorities, with the African American History Month, stuff, David with his, with the Pride stuff, and of course Women's Month. Now, we didn't do anything in March, obviously. Unfortunately, I mean, it's okay. I mean, we've been busy, but next year, that's why I'm throwing these out there now. So just to get you ahead of it, so we can maybe, you can definitely pick, your female talking heads to go into them, because there are a lot of awesome female characters celebrating the anniversary next year. Miki Sagusa, Emiko Yamane, Asagi from the Gamera series, Katsura, Namikawa, Sawako from Frankenstein Conquers the World, Suji Mori, because Mega Geras does turn 25 next year.
Oh my God, I can't believe that.
And
crazy.
And this one might be a little bit controversial, but I'm gonna add it anyway. Naomi Watts, she was Ann Darrow in 2005's King Kong. I think that's worth celebrating. You know what I mean?
I agree. I like Naomi Watts.
So I would like to see, Christine, you tackle a show celebrating those women characters. But let me ask you a question involving 2 of those awesome characters that we celebrate a lot. In your opinion, of course, everybody in the chat, you're more welcome to answer that question. In your opinion, who was the more tragic heroine in their respective story that you felt more sympathy for? Namikawa in Monster Zero or Katsura in Terror of Mechagodzilla? Now, I know the popular answer would be Namikawa.
Yeah, it is
but
tough.
Think about it. They both are very, very similar, and they both are integral to their stories. They both are tragically killed for the greater good of their story. In Namikawa's case, she was murdered. In Katsura's case, she was suicide. You know what I'm saying? But again, they both involve aliens and all that good stuff. But again, they were like the tragic
That's a great question
in their story. So
in
your opinion, which one do you felt more sympathy for in their respective story? Namikawa from Monster Zero or Katsura from Terror of Mechagodzilla?
Oh, Migo? Okay.
Yeah, you go.
I actually think Namikawa. And the reason is because Namikawa, first up, they're both very, very similarly close because they both sacrifice themselves, right? So Katsura sacrifices herself for the control, to relinquish control over Titanosaurus and Mechagodzilla, and Namikawa sacrifices herself to give up the information that's going to help the human characters defeat the Planet X aliens, because otherwise we would be a colony of Planet X.
Yes, we would right now.
Cattle. So
as we speak.
I think exactly right. Like I think really Namikawa just edges out just over Katsura. But yeah, difficult question. And actually, I think a great idea for a show would be not just like the focusing on the human women, because we actually kind of did that at one point, but I would love to have a show where we dedicated an entire segment to talking about what human characters deserve to be put into collectible form as well,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
So like, we've already
Love it.
gotten some cool stuff. Although somewhat generic, we've already gotten some cool stuff from the Toho Maniacs line. Like, how could we expand that? Gee, I'm sure you're watching and listening, right? So like, I would love to have a Namikawa figure. I would
Oh
love
my
to
gosh.
have.
Oh my god, yes. With the
Anyway,
car.
Dream come true.
another. So I'm actually adding that to the list of show
it.
ideas. It's like
love it.
human characters put into vinyl form, and that's my answer for you, Leslie. David?
So my answer is going to surprise you. Now, I agree with you, Kyle. The more consequential sacrifice is definitely Namikawa, because without her giving that note about the sound vibration that would destroy the aliens and save Earth, like Kyle said, we would have been a colony of Planet X right now. You know, King Ghidorah would have made his way to the United States, to the Western Hemisphere, like the controller said, and you know, all blank would hit the fan. However, Katsura, all she wanted to do was help her father, and she electrocuted herself. She died like 3 times in that movie.
She did.
You know,
Yeah.
the first scene, she electrocutes herself when she turned on the panel and it shorted, and then the aliens came in kind of abruptly, like out of nowhere, and made her into a cyborg. And then she actually jumps off of the cliff and dies a second time, essentially, or almost dies, and the aliens have to come to repair her again. And she still has humanity enough, even though she's part cyborg, to help what's his name, Ichinose-san, sort of like, you know, find the means to defeat Titanosaurus. And then she gets reprogrammed yet again, and then she's a badass towards the end. And then finally, when she's not mortally wounded, but when she's wounded, her humanity comes through again at the end, and she sacrifices herself to relinquish the control of Titanosaurus and Mechagodzilla too, because her brain was now, you know, sort of in cahoots with Mechagodzilla's brain. So as far as tragedy goes, and
make up your mind, Katsura. Jeez.
Right. Exactly. a big part of her really loved Ichinose-san. So that's kind of tragic. And, you know, when she's having tea and then, like, you know, with him, and she's like, gave the notes about the dinosaur. So tragically, that is, I think, the most, you know, sad, you know, chain of events for Katsura. However, the most consequential has to be, you know, Namikawa. So if that made any sense to you guys, I'm going to pass it over to Christine.
Well, gosh, yeah, this is a hard question because both of them have really tragic, you know, and kind of similar storylines. Like, you know, they both fall in love with someone that they eventually can't be with. That's just hard because, like, yeah, Namikawa's whole thing, like, she had a great character arc. You know, she originally started out, you know, trying with the aliens to take over the Earth, and then, you know, she met Glenn. She fell in love with Glenn, and ended up like wanting to save the Earth afterwards. And she had to sacrifice herself in order to save the Earth, and she couldn't be with Glenn, who she wanted to be with. And then Katsura, Katsura went through. I mean, girl had a rough life.
She had a rough one,
from
man.
the beginning. Like, goodness, oh my gosh, like, give her a break here. But yeah, that whole story arc too. Like, again, you know, like you were saying, David, she had this whole arc where she kind of started off. She was the cyborg robot, and then she kind of turned evil, and then she's like, oh, she's in this struggle. Like, do I want to punish the humans for making fun of my dad? And
yeah,
and she had that turn too, because she wanted, like, both of them kind of started out wanting. They were both against kind of like the Earth or humanity. And then they both had a point where they turned and realized, hey, I have to, you know, abandon my, you know, the aliens, actually both of them, I guess, were aliens, to make a decision on, oh gosh, this is hard. But I don't know. I guess I'll have to go with
Namikawa.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Namikawa. It's so because they're both like, how do you pick? But I think
really hard. It's like it's really hard.
For me, I think it's gonna be her because like the whole scene when she gets like incinerated, that's really sad.
It's very sad.
I mean, when Katsura is too, but like I feel like it had more an effect, a bigger impact when it happened with Namikawa. I'm gonna go with her.
It really helps that Glenn was like
such a good
reaction.
actor.
Yeah, no, it was perfect.
It was good.
You stinking rats!
Yeah.
What did you do?
I don't know. When I first saw it, I was shocked. I was like, "Oh my god!" I think they were gonna offer, and it was sad. You know, she really loved Glenn, and she wanted to be with him, and she wanted to help. You know, eventually she's like, "Oh, you know what? I do want to save the Earth and start a new life here." And
when you're a kid, that's really impactful. Like when I saw that as a kid, and Monster Zero, you know, if I may, it's kind of controversial if you think about it. They basically implied that Glenn spent the night with Namikawa because they were at the bungalow, and that was pretty provocative for 1965. You know, and also the fact that we're all four of us, we haven't heard from Leslie yet, but all four of us are having trouble deciding. I don't ever want to hear the comment, "Oh, I just want to see monsters battling each other." We need a story to care about. The monsters mean nothing if we don't have a story to care about. That's why it's so hard, because if you ask this question with a MonsterVerse movie, you're like, I don't care. Who knows? Let them all die, you know, whatever. That's the difference between character-driven films, even though it was 70s and there's some cheese in there, character-driven films where you actually care about the characters and you're compelled to find out what happens to them, where the humans are just, you know, to propel the story forward and have no other purpose. And again, you know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that is why I stick to my guns and I say that, and it's not the same. It's different. And anyway, sorry, I'm going to get off my high horse, and get off of my soapbox. I'm going to pass it back to you. But if you're done, let's hear from Leslie.
Yeah, let's hear what you have to say, Leslie.
Again, this one was really tough, but I guess it's going to be an even split. Kyle, I'm with you. Katsura. You just said Katsura, right, Kyle?
No, Kyle said Namikawa. I said Katsura.
Oh, so all y'all said Namikawa.
Oh, all right.
No, I said Katsura.
David said Katsura.
Oh, David said Katsura. Okay, David, I'm with you. I'm with Katsura. Because I hate to say it, even though it's tragic to see Namikawa get murdered, but in a way, once the monster stuff start happening, Monster Zero at the very end, I kind of forget about Namikawa, honestly. I hate to say that, but I kind of do.
Poor Namikawa. She saved you. You forgot about her.
I mean, I know, but once I see Godzilla and Rodan get together and start trashing stuff, I kind of forget about her sacrifice. And here's my point where I'm going with this. In Terror of Mechagodzilla, now, when I first saw the movie, I saw the edited version. I did not know that Katsura committed suicide until many years later when I saw the uncut version. So when I saw that, I was given 54 flashbacks for Serizawa. I was like, wow, she kills herself? But I say that because Katsura was more on my mind, because when you notice the final shot after Godzilla takes care of Titanosaurus and they show him going out to sea, they cut back to seeing Ichinose holding Katsura's dead body. Then it cuts to Godzilla. Then it cuts back to them all mourning over her body. And I thought that's very, very poetic, especially with Inashiro Honda coming back to do that film. That to me shows that even though at that point in the 70s, Godzilla has evolved into a more playful hero, them cut back to Katsura just shows that no matter how you slice it, Godzilla will always be tied to tragedy in some way, shape, or form. And that's something that I think a lot more people should acknowledge more, honestly.
Yep.
So
me too, Alex.
That's why I'm going with Katsura, because again, I was expecting her to kill herself. I wasn't really expecting that. I thought that she was going to live happily ever after with Ichinose, but the fact that she chose to kill herself for the greater good, kind of like Namikawa did what she did for the greater good. That's why I was kind of neck and neck with the two. But again, I think that would be great for a conversation down the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, the next topic I'm going to talk about now, again, this is more so Christine centric, because I know you're a huge fan of this character. But again, next year, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. turns 30 next year, and
oh my God.
One
makes me feel old.
One show I want you to do, Christine. One show I want you to do, Christine. I want you to bring Donnie Winter and other people that may have met, Mickey Sagusa. I want you to do a Mickey Sagusa evolution discussion. Talk about her character from 1989.
I love it.
All the way up to 1995.
Oh yeah.
I want to see that. Talk about when you met her at I forgot where you met her. I know you
Chiller.
Yeah, Chiller. And then she was at Too Fast,
yeah.
So just have a whole discussion about Mickey Sagusa and just talk about her and talk about her evolution as a character throughout the Heisei series.
I love it.
Now, in terms of Godzilla vs. Destroyer, also, here's a question I want to ask y'all, because there's one more topic I want to talk about when it comes to Destroyer. In your opinion, what is the one thing that Godzilla vs. Destroyer did right that makes you mark out to this day, that you praise to the highest of the highs? And also, what is the one thing that Godzilla vs. Destroyer bugs you that still gets on your nerves today?
Oh, I love these. You're good, man.
This is a good one.
Okay.
There's a lot to say for this one.
Okay, so let me I'll start with the praise, actually. So the thing that I feel like Destroyer gets right more than anything else is it feeling like the end of the era. All right. So Godzilla shows up, and from whether it's said in the movies or not, he has been increasing his power throughout the past several films. And like when he shows up in 95, he's got those burning patches on him, which were absolutely such a visual like whoa, what is going on here kind of moment for that film. And the fact that it was like, it's basically continuing through Godzilla's life here in the Heisei era of movies. The fact that they tied it in with, I think Albert Escobedo saying it here, with the oxygen destroyer, and brought back, Emiko from the first movie. And, the fact that it felt so much like the end of this era, like even the end, while it doesn't hold up as well as it did when it came out and feels a little on the cheesy side, like it definitely had like heartstrings were being pulled at the end of that film, right? When Godzilla was dying. So that I think is what Godzilla versus Destroyer gets right more than anything. And really absolutely is one of the reasons or several of the reasons I feel like that movie is deserves praise. What don't I like about it? What bugs me about it? That's a little bit of a loaded question, because I feel like for me, the characters in the movie are less interesting as time goes on. Their motivations are also a little less interesting as time goes on. Like, they made it overly complicated in a way by like giving this scientist who's pulling soil from the Tokyo Bay that has the oxygen destroyer in it, that has destroyer crab microform in it. Like, to me, those things are, it's a little too much. Like, you don't need to go into that much detail. You already have like a really great idea with this Godzilla showing up, and he's on his last legs essentially. And that not only is it his last legs, like, oh, when Godzilla goes, when he like literally explodes, we're all screwed, right? So that, to me, like adding Destroyer into that, I love Destroyer from a design, but like he's almost not necessary, because you really could have had it just be Godzilla versus the world, and then instead of figuring out how to defeat Godzilla, the world could have been, how do we stop this death that's going to kill us all happening? And then of course there's like the weird alien visual references that like the Heisei era is kind of known for, like ripping off American movies. Like, I think even back in the day, like Japanese fans were like, why are we seeing this same look that happened in the sequel to Alien in this movie? So to me, those are my big ones.
That's a good one right there. What Albert just said, right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a very, very interesting question, and it again, it makes you think about these movies and why we love them so much, and why we do what we do, why we collect these figures, because these movies are impactful to us. And like Kyle said, sometimes they don't hold up as well. Some hold up better than others, but we still love them in a nostalgic way. So I'm going to start with the praise, and Kyle touched on it, but I'm going to elaborate. I think the fact that the continuity between the first 1954 film and this movie, it was sort of an alpha and an omega, right? So the fact that they utilized Emiko Serizawa, and the fact that the main young scientist was a relative of them, and that was his aunt. That was the nephew. And I would have liked to see a little bit more of that, like throwback stuff, but there was just enough to satisfy me and say, wow, they're really like paying attention. And the fact that, you know, one of the creature that almost defeated Godzilla was created from the oxygen destroyer, which destroyed the first Godzilla. So I loved that. I loved Godzilla Jr. I loved that the way his character was, but again, like Albert said, I wish there was more interaction. I wish they utilized him a little bit more in the film. Now, negatively, a couple of things. I think the execution of the crab destroyers was really distracting and bad, and you know, I guess that's really not the filmmaker's fault so much. They just didn't have the exact technology to make that more believable. But I always thought that at the very end, when Godzilla is melting down, and Kyle, you hit it right on the head. I wish that Destroyer was almost an afterthought, or not even present at the end when Godzilla melted down, because it watered it down. I wanted Godzilla's death to be even more epic than it was, and more pronounced, and more like, I didn't need like him to melt down like seconds after Destroyer was killed. I wanted like them to worry about, is he going to really melt down? Is the Earth going to be destroyed with him, or what? I wanted more of a segue between the Destroyer's defeat and Godzilla's ultimate death. Does that make any sense to you guys? I wanted to see more like the clock ticking down. Is this really going to destroy the Earth along with Godzilla, or is it going to be okay? So I think that I wanted to see a little more drama towards the end, and again, like I said, more interaction with Godzilla Jr. But again, it was a really, really emotional film, and you know, very character driven. Even though, you know, some of the characters weren't as strong as others, but you know, we really felt for Godzilla Jr. when he, you know, ultimately died and then was reborn. So that's mine. How about you, Christine? What do you think are the highs and lows?
The highs are pretty much what you guys are saying, so I won't touch on it too much. But I like you guys said, I like the continuity. I like the connections between the first film, and they brought that all into the last film. Because I remember the first time when I saw Destroyer, and I saw Emiko back, and I was like, oh
yeah.
And then the whole oxygen story. So like the full circle moment of all of that coming together, that definitely was a high for me. That just brought it all together, everything that we had watched. The lows were mostly like character development kind of stuff. Like throughout the whole Heisei series, you know, we had Miki Sagusa and like showing her bond growing with Godzilla. And I felt like in this one, she was kind of like just off to the side. They didn't really explore her connection with Godzilla, or her even trying to be more involved in what was going on. I was a little disappointed with that. I felt like she was kind of like just an afterthought, just thrown in there because she was supposed to be in all of the movies. I would like to have seen more of Junior fleshed out as well, because I love Junior. Oh my gosh,
Junior's great. We need more Junior figures.
We want more Junior. Yes, I love Junior. And then I also the final battle with Destroyer, I would have liked to see more of a fight with Godzilla versus Destroyer, because the whole movie was leading up to them, coming out for this all-out final battle, and then Godzilla wasn't even the one that killed him. So I kind of wanted to see.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was waiting for this whole build-up of the final fight. He had just killed Junior. Godzilla's all mad. I'm like, oh, he's gonna rip him apart. And we didn't really get that. And then, like you had said, David, and then right after that, he immediately melted down, which was heartbreaking, yes. But I feel
need
like
a segue. It needs to be more separate than.
Yes, like I would have liked him, take out Destroya, and then all of a sudden he's got all this excess energy that he spent up from taking Destroya down, and it would have been nice to see it kind of segue into what's gonna happen now Destroya's gone, but I still love the movie.
Good answer. Yeah,
I love it.
Me too. Leslie, can I say one thing before you go? Another thing that I wanted to talk about is that opening scene in Hong Kong was freaking amazing. Like the pounding Ifukube music and that dun 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 dun, and then and it was just so oh my God, this movie's going to be extra. And it sort of it peaked there, and then it kind of went down a little bit before it went back up. But that beginning opening scene in Hong Kong, the fact that it was Hong Kong too was kind of interesting too. But I just absolutely love that. That's one of the best beginnings of any Godzilla film.
I love that movie. His intro, it's so good.
Yeah,
and
it's so good.
One of the best intros.
Add to what you're saying. I said this on the podcast a long time ago, but basically when the crescendo happens in the movie intro, and the crescendo happens, and they bring in the titles, right? When
yes,
they do that,
yes.
The music also incorporates Chinese instruments, which is really, really cool to hear the extra instrumentation happening that you don't normally hear in these movies. So
good
anyway,
catch. Yeah,
Leslie,
excellent. Love it.
Let's see what I think the film gets right that I love the most. The death. I think it handles Godzilla's death story so well. And I'm gonna lean into the MonsterVerse a little bit here, because again, this new movie of Kong, the New Empire, Kong is more focused on they're more focused on Kong. So they're hoping that the next MonsterVerse film is going to be Godzilla centric. And one of the arguments that's been thrown out there is the reason why they focus on Kong because he's more relatable, because he's more relatable to humans. And the argument is they can't do that with Godzilla because he's a monster. And I wholeheartely disagree, because Godzilla vs. Destroyer really demonstrates that you can identify with Godzilla. You can identify with him because every time you see him, he's dying. You know what I'm saying? And this whole time he's trying to basically catch up to his son. Now, does he know he's dying? We don't know, but his whole purpose is to get back to his son. And when he does, his son is killed in front of him. And then you see him cry. That right there is how can you not identify with that?
That was hard.
Imagine being Godzilla and seeing your child killed in front of your face. How would you feel? So I think it handles the emotional part of a Godzilla film really, really well. It shows that, again, and -1 is the most recent example of that, you can get emotional coming out of a Godzilla film. What I think the film does wrong that bugs me to this day, and I'm going to lean into Miki Sagusa here, the fact that she's only a side character in this movie, especially with this being the final film of the Heisei period, really bugs me. In my opinion, Space Godzilla was not the movie for her to take center stage. It should have been this one. In my opinion,
you're right.
That other psychic that appears in Destroyer, there was no need for her. You could just put everything on Mickey. Have her tell her story.
You're absolutely right.
How she rides off in the sunset with Godzilla. You didn't really need the other character of the psychic. That's the one thing I don't really like in terms of Destroyer. That character was not needed. That should have been more focused on Mickey, her story, her final evolution as a character, how it ended the series. That, to me, was the most missed opportunity in terms of Godzilla vs. Destroyer.
I wonder why they did that. You make perfect sense.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because the whole Heisei series was following her and Godzilla's connection. And then we get to the end and they're just
she's just there.
Where is she? She's
just there. And to me, she she has much to do with the success of the Heisei series as much as Godzilla does, because she was a constant part of it. And the fact that she's treated like that, not to mention
that would be a great question to ask her if anybody gets to interview her again, Kyle, or anybody. That would be like, we would have loved to have seen you. You have to say it in a respectful way, like, why weren't you in it more? No, we loved the character of Miki Sagusa, the way you portrayed her. It's interesting that they chose not to utilize you more in Godzilla versus Destoroyah, because that's what the audience, the fans, really wanted to see, essentially.
Right.
So you're right. That's a really good observation. And that other psychic, God bless her, why did they even put her in there?
There was, in my opinion, it was just a role that wasn't really needed, because that should have been focused on Mickey. But that's my low point when it comes to Destroyer. Now, with the other topic I want to talk about on the channel, this is more collectible focus, and I've already talked with James Hartman about this, and we can also get Rich involved in this too. But we're going to celebrate all collectibles of the Desu Goji, the 1995 Godzilla, whether it's Sofubi, whether it's realistic, big, small, it doesn't matter. Right off the bat, if you have one in your collection, what is your favorite Desu Goji collectible in your collection? Kyle, go. If you could pick one.
Oh, geez. All right. So, actually, after the big sell-off, I have two in my collection. One of them is the Akame Tenshi Super Glow that I got. It's like the 3D 4K. And it's gorgeous, but I could reach this one.
I hate these questions.
I'm looking around while Kyle's getting it.
I know, me too.
So the classic, standard, original 1995 Bandai Burning Godzilla, for me, has it's very special because I think I talked about this on the show. Like, I got this thing back in probably like 1998 or 99, and it was in the early days of eBay. And way back in the early days of eBay, you could see who you were bidding against, and you could also message anybody on eBay.
Right.
And sorry if I've told this story too many times, but basically, I kept trying to win the Burning Godzilla, and someone kept outbidding me. Every time, on every auction, the same person was outbidding me. And so one day, I messaged the person, and I was like, hey, I'm sorry to say this, but like, I just really want to get one of these figures, and like, you keep outbidding me on every single one of these. And could you maybe like not for this next auction, because I'd really like to get one. And the dude actually, I think his name is Tab Murphy, and he's actually a Hollywood scriptwriter. And he wrote me back and said, oh, actually, you know what? I'll just send you one of mine. And he sent this to me. And this is like
I never heard this story.
One of the only Bandai figures that I kept. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if you look up his name, he's been involved in some really pretty big projects, like Disney movies and stuff like that. But yeah, this is one of my figures from back when Tiger was a little baby.
Aww.
And yeah, like so yeah, when it came time to sell my Bandai collection, there's like 2 or 3 figures that I was like, no, that's not part of the collection that's getting sold, and this is one of the ones that I kept. So
what a great story, and it's also a cautionary tale. Kyle, you took the high road and you didn't call him out and say, you dick, why don't you stop doing this? And then you probably would not have gotten the figure sent to you. But so take the high road, people. Take the high road, people.
It's always better to be nice.
That's an awesome story that I actually never heard before today. So
yeah, that's cool.
It's kind of easy for me. It's a tie between two. It is the Marmot Special Edition Desu Goji from the G-Fest special from 2014. Bought it from Mike Johnson. I went to his room, bought it, brought it back. That's my one and only Marmot Desu Goji. I have one, and it sort of illustrates and represents my very first trip to G-Fest, meeting many of you, meeting people in the chat, and it will always be very special. I will never sell that guy. And the second one, Ty, is going to be the X Plus gigantic Desu Goji that I saw with Kyle in Japan at Godzilla's 60th, and it was on display towards the end of the exhibit. And I had no idea that it wasn't just a piece that was being displayed, that it was available to buy. And I remember coming back home and like, oh man, I need to get that. I need to get that. And I had missed the pre-order. This is way back when, you know, that it wasn't available. Like, again, they didn't re-release it like right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
So I think James Hartman had 2, and he sold me one at the original cost. So, and I still have him up there. He's awesome. My very first gigantic, and again, very, very impactful because I did see it for the first time in Japan, and that kind of stuff means the world to me. And like figures that sort of like have a memory attached to them sort of get elevated in my collection. Like if it's a memory with a person, memory with a place, memory with a movie, you know, or a gift, those are the ones that I treasure the most. So it's a tie between those two. So Christine, how about you? I know you have a lot more than I do for sure to choose from.
There's so many. Really, there really is so many great Desugoji figures out there now. It's really hard to choose. But like you said, I lean more towards like the emotional, like the story behind it.
Right.
Gosh, I have 2 that are like literally tied. So my first one is, well, first of all, you can't go wrong with the Marmot Desugoji sculpt. Like such a good sculpt. It's been around forever.
Look at that golden face.
And this one is this actually, Akuma Tenchi, this was way back when he was just doing his own colorways. He didn't have his original sculpts out yet. This was given to me as a gift from him. And Kaz, and yeah, this is a 1/1, a blue, because, well, you know, I love blue, but blue gold mask on it. This is such a cool figure. And I love it. And it's just like really special that like they just made one for me. So this is definitely if the house is burning down, I would grab this one for sure.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is, and it's just, and he's such a nice guy. Like Akuma Tenchi's such really a great person, and I'm very happy for all the success he's had with his own sculpts. Very well deserved because they're amazing.
Me too. I agree.
And my other second tie, I know I bring this one up all the time, but gosh, I love the Neoplo one just because I don't know, the style I really like. I love the burning aspects. And then not only that, but the only reason I got this was because of Joe and Nick Sides. You know, Joe knew I really wanted this one, and I had already asked Nick to try and nab me something from Wonderfest, so I didn't want to be greedy and say, can you give me this? So I didn't want to ask for it. And Joe messaged him and was like, hey, Christine really wants this, could you enter it? And he ended up winning it. And they surprised me with it when I went down to LA for the Marmot exhibition. So not only is this something that I really, really wanted, but it has awesome memories attached to it from my man, and then, you know, Nick, one of our amazing friends. So
love it.
Yeah, these are tie.
Smoke on that one.
These guys.
Excellent choices.
All right, Leslie, what have you got you got some great pieces too.
Thank you. And you saw him earlier, so
yeah, that's sick.
So that's your favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Just my favorite.
It's pretty amazing, I gotta say.
Such a good sculpt.
It beats out the gigantic for the longest time. The gigantic Burning Godzilla was my favorite, but this one, I would even say is better than the Sakai. It beats out the Sakai. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. The pose is awesome. The face, the way the face looks.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, that's.
Can I see the dorsal plates, Leslie, on the back?
That's nice.
Can I see the back dorsal plates? All the way down. Let me see. Oh yeah, I never like when they switch that. They should do all orange. I don't like that, but that's easy. I can fix that.
Yeah, but that's my favorite. And again, that's another talking point. We're going to be going sometime next year. Since we're at the 2-hour mark, let me brief through a couple more ideas. We don't have to really go into detail with them. I'm just going to just shout them out, just let them know that, let you know that they are coming. Of course, again, you know we're going to do a Monster Zero discussion. Like, you already know that's coming. You know that. Of course, Terra Mechagodzilla, you already know. I want to do a show dedicating to both Anguirus and Baragon, because they're both celebrating milestone anniversaries next year. Of course, get Jessica involved, because I kind of hear she's an Anguirus fan. Don't know this for sure, but I think just a little bit. And
he dabbles in it.
Yeah, and of course, Gamera, he turns 60 next year, so we got to do something involved with that. And the last idea I want to do, and of course, I know, David, you want to be a part of it. I'm sure, Kyle, you want to be a part of it. I want to compare the Toho Frankenstein duology. Frankenstein conquers the world along with War of the Gargantuas. I want to do that.
Love it. Love it.
So those are just some ideas that are coming your way. Again, we'll let you know when the time is going to be and all that good stuff. But between this year and next year, Collect All Monsters has got you down on lock with some interesting discussions. And you saw a little peek on how we go through our brainstorming sessions. Again, it really turns into a fun, loving conversation between friends. Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's how it should be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's why we do it.
So
we love talking about our toys, the movies. Always something to talk about.
Excellent. I loved it.
I did actually, just if you don't mind, Leslie, I just want to bring up a couple things. Like, one,
go for it.
When we started the show, we started the Facebook group. We had a lot more streams inside of the Facebook group, and we don't do that as much these days. And I'm laughing because Robert Dwyer says no Dogura celebration. Celebrating Dogura is not bringing it up, in my opinion. It's not, come on. I mean,
there it is.
Dogura wasn't really even in the movie.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so like I would like to get back to some more coffee chats and some more like group streams. Like we did the happy hour with like Hector and Peter that one time. Like, so
the happy hours.
That would be kind of cool. I would love to know people who are watching live, like especially if you're watching live, if you'd like to see us reach out to anybody specifically, because like I want to do more creator interviews. Like in the past couple of months, David and I joined forces with Mondo's Peter and Hector to talk about their All Monsters Attack Sofubi release, and also Chris and Alex from Seismic Toys to talk about the Shin Gomez release. I would like to do more of those, like quick little videos highlighting or spotlighting a certain thing. So if you're interested in seeing more of those, hopefully you watch those as well. But if you're interested in seeing some of that stuff, like this specifically would have to be like with people that we could get like English language stuff going on. Like that would be preferable, because if you don't have an English language situation happening, you've got to get an interpreter, which takes editing into consideration. So I see you, Helmy. I see you saying an X Plus interview, and I'm not saying no to it. Mike Keller's suggestion of Brian Flynn, that's a great example. I would love to get Brian to talk about the Super 7 stuff. You know, that was actually a conversation that got brought up a long time ago. I'll pick that back up again, because I think they've been knocking it out of the park in terms of a lot of their releases. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Larry Latham is suggesting James Groman.
Kyle.
That would be
yes.
Oh, Kyle, you know what? I know I've been saying this for the longest time, but I'm hoping if I say it too much, it will wield itself into existence. I know it's kind of a long shot, but it's better than no shot at all. But I'm hoping and praying that sometime next year, you will finally get the interview of all interviews. You will find Kumi Mizuno and get that interview. I'm hoping you will do that.
It's on the docket, man. I mean, basically it's on the wish list. There's I'm actually going to an event at the end of the month, where I'm going to a Space Giants event, where if you've seen Space Giants, there's basically there's like one of the actors from Space Giants is going to basically do a Q&A, and I'm going to go and I'm going to film it for them and put it up on the Kaiju Cast channel, but I got to, do the subtitles and stuff. So I am hoping to get more Kaiju Castery happening now that we're here. But yeah, I would love to interview Kumi Mizuno.
That would be
that would be awesome.
That would be epic. I think we should get Mark Nagata. We've been talking about that for a while too. We need to get Mark Nagata for sure because his success with Max Toy. Maybe we can get him and his son together to do an interview. That would be really cool.
Oh, that would be cool.
Mark and Max would be great. And just going to throw this in before we end. We're also behind the scenes. We talked about incorporating a lot of the viewers into the shows. So we've got some things going on where we're going to make you part of our show. That's something that we have to iron out the details, but it would be nice to sort of highlight a collector who's, a loyal viewer or somebody who just started watching the show, who just loves to talk about collecting and highlight their collection and that kind of thing. And like I said, look for something like that to come in the next few shows, because, I was saying to the crew that when I watch a live stream, I like to get involved. I like to be acknowledged. I like to get involved. And I think a lot of you guys do too. And because we all have a lot to say and to contribute. So I think the more we do that with you guys, the more it's going to enhance our show and make it more complete. So that's something that we definitely talked about. Again, we haven't ironed out the actual details of how we're going to go about that yet, but please look forward to something like that if you're interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, guys?
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
Collector's spotlight,
yeah, like sort of like that. We haven't, like I said, we haven't completely ironed it out, but we need to get more involvement from our viewers, and then I think you'll feel like you're part of the show, which you already totally are. But you'll be on screen for a short time too. So. Oh, look how cute. Look at that couple. What a lovely couple. He's not just a boy.
Oh, like father, like son.
He's no longer a boy.
Frankenstein want a cheeseburger right now. Frankenstein.
He wants a Baragon burger.
All right. Well, I don't think we're gonna have our collector. What is that called? Our collector moment for this episode, because we don't have Jonathan with us. But what the collector moment usually is it is a spotlight on our collectors in our group. So similar to what David's saying, we like to highlight stuff that we've seen inside the group, and so maybe we'll have an even bigger collector moment next month. But don't let that stop you from posting awesome stuff in our Facebook group, which is the Collect All Monsters Monster Collectors group. It really is, like, I'm just gonna say, it's the best group on Facebook, and we would love to see
one to go to, really,
guys and your collections on the group. And one of the show ideas that I think we did a long time ago, which we could sort of revisit at some point, is another Show Your Shelves. Episode.
I love it.
That'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool to incorporate more people from the group and that kind of thing as well.
Outstanding.
I like that.
But yeah, we're thinking about you guys and thinking about our collectors and our Collect All Monster collectors and our Camely here. But I think, unless I'm missing something, we're gonna go ahead and close out this show. Good? Yes? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
And the way we do this is by saying, until next time, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in chaos. We must unite and collect all monsters. We'll see you for the next episode, guys.